let's see. Black hair to blonde was one of my favorites, saying, do you want to walk out with your hair on your head or on your hand? Because we can do that.
Hello and welcome to the Beauty Ritual Podcast, the podcast that hosts conversations, not explanations, about age, beauty, and identity. In a world where the pressure to conform rises every day, this is your dose of perfection correction. And my guest today, as several of the guests on season 2 will be, is a little mysterious. There's an element of, if you know, you know. But this person is a mentor to me, someone that early in my career had a great impact on my soft skills as well as my technical skills. So I would like to welcome Alex to the show.
Hello. Hi.
Alexandra. Some people might know her as.
Yes. Mostly Alex.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for driving all the way down here.
Of course. My pleasure.
Yes. That was one of the first things Alex ever taught me, because I used to say, no problem.
Ah, it's a pleasure.
Honestly, though, that's one of my favorite things you ever really did teach me, because it is, even when I hear it from other people, I think it is one of the classiest ways.
Well, people get so bent out of shape over the littlest things. So just knowing those little things so nobody gets bent out of shape, especially in Beverly Hills, you'll go far.
It's taken me far. It's taken me far, and I've enjoyed it. So, I like to start with most of my guests of where did you start from getting even into hair? I think it's a really interesting question, because a lot of times you see people have a career that you think, wow, if I could experience half of that,
right?
That would be amazing. But how did you start?
Well, never was in my wheelhouse. I was in school actually for accounting and computers, but I always had an artistic side. I was sculpt. My dad is an engineer. He's very artistic as well. And I was in school. I won a scholarship at his aerospace company. And it went from having a stable job and having these amazing, smart career computer people, to being outsourced, computer jobs being hard to find, being in school for computers forever. And that scared me the most. And I think being in your 20s and being so young, you don't know exactly what you want to do. It was terrifying. So
what was having to sit in front of a computer all day?
No, being terrified of not having a job, having to find a job. There's these amazingly smart people that were being fired and laid off because a company outsourced the computer department and it was centralized, and they lost their jobs. They had to move out of California. So I took a step back. I was like, okay, maybe I want to do accounting. I'll focus more on accounting. And then a lot of accounting jobs were being taken over by computers. So I stepped back. My roommate worked in a salon, and I loved going in there. And I loved the energy. It was an artistic outlet. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. Dad wasn't too happy. Being Polish, our parents are very...
I can attest to this. It's like... oh, you got a master's, but you didn't, don't have a doctorate.
100%. Oh, you won a scholarship at an aerospace company in a paid internship that you're going to quit and go do hair. Because in Poland, out here, being in LA and New York, hair is a big career. In Poland, it's not a big career. It's just like working a retail job, or, it's not a career. It's kind of just something you do.
And with social media today, there's a huge difference in how that job is viewed, because almost anyone can make an incredible business.
Yes, absolutely.
With Instagram, with TikTok.
Absolutely.
So you are trained in a way that I think most people are familiar with the word, but you are trained in a way that is a very pure form of balayage, like hair painting.
Yes.
Not many people actually do it the way that you do it. I understand that it's advertised in many ways. I actually don't even do it the way that you do it. No, I use a foil.
A foil?
I know.
That's interesting.
I like to cook.
Hey, however you can get the results you want to get to.
Can you explain a little bit about balayage?
Balayage is if I remember right, it's like this to sweep light in French or something. And so you just, you're painting on, and it's supposed to be a more natural way to do highlights. It's actually the first way anybody ever did highlights until foiling was invented and it was faster. And so balayage, it does take longer. You get different results. But yeah, painting on more end brightening. When I had it done on my hair the first time, that's when I was like, that's it. Fuck foil.
It is. I actually think it is one of the most beautiful end results.
Yeah.
And I in another life could see myself learning to do that if there was a slower environment. I just found myself thrust into this timed money making machine of a salon.
Yes.
That really did not allow for a quote unquote luxury experience, which I think balayage actually is, because in the salon that we met, it was a luxury experience.
Yes, for sure.
And could you explain a little bit about the difference between luxury and like a regular hair appointment?
I mean, I've always worked though. I always started in high-end salons, so I'm not even sure how like a fast-paced salon would work.
She has no idea, guys. She only knows Chanel.
I always knew like I wanted to be in this industry. If I wanted to do something right and well, I'm going to go straight to the hub of it all. And my first job, I walked up and down Beverly, Cannon, Wilshire, Rodeo, handing out my resume in person. And I got 2 jobs that day just from being in person. I wanted to be there. I wanted to learn from the best and the people that are known, and it worked.
Yeah. It's interesting because I have no idea what it would be like for a student today, but I did the same thing, except for
did the same thing as in what?
I found her on the internet.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
The good old internet came through for me for once, but most of the time I actually handed my resume in person.
That's good. Not a lot of people do that. My dad was like, you need to go and you need to walk and show them you're a good person. And I was like, okay, Dad. But it worked.
Right.
I sent in resumes online, nothing. Go in person. Boom, 2 jobs in one day. Being in person, it's funny when I was, partner in the salon, having people actually come in. I mean, it showed effort. I could see who they were. I can kind of get a little glimpse of their personality as well. So I would hire those people over the people that would get emails or just like ones that were sent in. Yeah. Face to face it's rare these days too.
Yeah.
Goes a long way.
Absolutely. I actually think there's a time and a place for everything, but what we could learn the most to use the most effectively is what we do in person. And obviously doing hair is a very personal service.
Yes, it is.
You can make all the videos that you want in the world, but when it comes down to actually having an impact on your business, it's going to be what happens between you and that person in the chair. And like, yes, the digital is an extension of that, but that's the starting point and it's the most important point.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting having these conversations with peers because it obviously, everyone's had a different experience of beauty. I think you've had one of the most unique ones because why? Because I think you've had the most variety. You've gone from working in like luxury salons as an assistant to being hired as a partner colorist with a stylist to, going onto the business side and moving through things actually quite quickly. There's been like a rapid chain of events that have, kind of like led you to a place of, frankly, whether or not you want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you say a little bit about that? Yeah.
I mean,
you can be as honest as you want.
So starting off, it's a hard industry to be in. You have to have a super passion, I think, for hair. You have to have patience. You have to have a way to be able to connect with your clients and also know how to disconnect with some clients. It has to be gracefully. And especially nowadays, like the internet, you can get one bad review and things can just crumble your world, or bad press. Something similar like that happened to us. And it was, not truthful, but who's going to believe who? normally the person that says something first. So connecting, having stamina, having the mental capacity, it's a lot all in one. It's not just playing with hair and making somebody pretty. So having a strong mind is a huge part of it.
Do you feel like you started to learn those integral pieces quickly, like as an assistant, or was this a slow dawning of realization as you moved through time?
You learn different layers of it, I think, as you go through. And the business side, yeah, it's experience. Everything in life is experience, though. So starting as an assistant, you kind of see, the backside of things. You also see the backside of things with your clients that you think, like, you have the stylist that's there, they walk away. That client will turn on them in 2 seconds and tell you blah, 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 blah about your assistant or about your mentor, I guess, like when you were my assistant. And if I were to walk away, say something else to me, a lot of clients aren't very honest. I think it's hard to really know who they are as well, your clients. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does.
Finding loyalty, finding a connection. It's all about experience and knowing who is actually, I don't want to say a good person, good but loyal to you. And that's one thing I had to learn early is nobody's loyal. So that's why you have to have a very strong mind, because you think you can connect with somebody and you walk away and they're not really connected to you.
It's like Love Island, guys. No one's loyal and no one has coupled up and you're all leaving the villa.
It is. And to learn that early along helped me be mentally strong, because it's just business. And I just remember, it's okay. There's going to be another person there.
Right. It's funny because obviously we live in LA, so there's a lot of actors here and they deal with rejection in their own way. Mm-hmm. So I think there is a level of rejection that can happen behind the chair, and you can either learn to take that personally, or you can kind of learn, I really can focus on who I connect with and why I connect with them. And I can keep that momentum rolling. And I think inside of that, you build trust. Inside of that, you build loyalty. But one thing I've found, especially in the last 5 years from COVID until now, I've been so lucky to connect with, honestly, everyone that I've really been able to connect with. I've learned something, whether they've stayed with me, whether they've left. But one thing that really sticks with me, and especially with the clients that I have now, is that we have this rapport that has been really humorous, intelligent, and life affirming. Because when, you go through a lot of changes and you go from the salon to being in someone's home to, I moved to 2 suites and then I moved to the Daniel K. Palmer salon that we are shooting in today. It's been a constant care of that rapport between us and care of that communication. And I don't think that you have that with everyone. And I also think, I've worked in the luxury space before I ever worked in the Beverly Hills space, because to me, quite frankly, there's luxury and then there's just Beverly Hills and West Hollywood, where you get a different mixture of clients.
Yes.
So I learned the luxury and intense lifestyle first, but when I mentored under Joseph, my mentor in Beverly Hills, I learned the relationship part from him, because he had clients for 25 years. Yeah. And that was different than the clients that were flitting from stylist to stylist, that were doing the talking about this, talking about that, because they kind of need to feed on something and have something exciting, Yeah.
That's where you get to learn who you can connect with.
Yes.
And who you can't connect with. Or disconnect. I have I wouldn't say a few people that I go, I just don't think it's the right fit.
Right.
Let me send you to somebody else. Communications, having that strong mindset to know also when to let go, I guess.
Yeah.
So you don't take it in. Being a stylist, you do listen to so many people, their life stories, I have people say, how do you remember that? I'm like, because I connect with you on a different level. And so I remember this because I know you. It's not just a factory.
Yes, that's a huge, huge misconception. Yeah. There's two misconceptions here. There's one side that thinks that doing hair or someone in the beauty industry is, changing a tire or changing the oil. And on the other hand, they think you're a therapist, and we are neither of those things.
Well, to a degree.
Don't tell them our secrets, okay? I'm trying to do a little renegotiation of our image here.
Okay. Scratch that.
Listen, maybe there are elements that can be related to that, but there's more color to that. It can't be so simplified.
Yeah. I have clients that I still do from when I was pregnant, before I was pregnant. My son's 10 now, and they remember all the things, when I got engaged and married. And you have those core clients that, you cultivate that relationship with, and they are considered, friends and partially family in a way,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I relate to that in a big way. So back to a little bit some of the more tumultuous types of relationships. How do you handle someone that's always used to saying, like, hearing yes?
I asked, example, yes, I want my hair blonde, but my base color is black.
Sure.
Okay.
Really, just someone who's gone through their life.
I try to bring humor to a lot of things, to soften things. Let's see. Black hair to blonde was one of my favorites, saying, do you want to walk out with your hair on your head or on your hand? Because we can do that. So I felt like if you tried to be honest, that was my thing, was don't overpromise and underdeliver. That is one of my biggest hair rules, because they're not going to be happy. Tell them the truth. If we can get here, it might be a slow process. Just be honest, and possibly can get there. But saying what do you mean, that are always hearing yes? You mean spoiled brats, or
she wants
get
to
everything you want?
Well, I think that a lot of times when you are in a luxury environment, a lot of people just immediately think they can get whatever they want. They can get from point A to point B. They can get
just got to be honest. And I like to keep the integrity of my client's hair. So if this is something you want, maybe somebody else can do it for you. I just don't think that's me. And I can refer you to somebody else.
I guess that's the mental strength, because you're not so easily seduced by anyone's station that would have an effect on you wanting to give them that outcome. Because I think that is the downfall of many people, and especially me as a young stylist.
But it's a learning experience too.
Oh, girl, yes, it
want
is.
To please
burn someone's hair off, you'll learn.
Yes, it is. You want to please. Yes, you want that client. You're going to do anything to get him there, but you have to realistically know if that is possible or not. So you have to have integrity.
And once you know, you got to stick to your guns.
That's right.
So,
because once you do it and it doesn't come out the way you said it would, guess what? You did all that work and they're not going to pay you.
Right.
So it's a lot of stress for nothing.
Right. So don't get distracted or seduced by a price tag or by the idea of an IG post.
100%. Yes.
Fair. That's very fair.
And a lot of people people are aware, I want this. Lindsay Lohan had red hair. Then she had blonde hair. And the next week she had black hair and she went back to blonde. No, it's not that easy. They're in the salon, 24 hours a day sometimes. They're coming back every day that week. Then they're taking breaks and then they're coming back again. It's not a one process thing. So it's a lot of extensions. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Right.
Yeah. So you see in a magazine something, you want it. It's not always realistic,
right?
Because they did it.
Do you have the budget for it? Because honestly, to be in the salon for a week, I can't imagine what that price tag was.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. You know, focusing in on the work is great and it's lovely, but there's like also the salon environment. There's dealing with the colleagues. There's dealing with the vibe of a salon.
Yes.
With competition.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Talk about the competition.
So that is where I don't want to say, excuse me, failed, but I am not that person that is going to be confrontational. I'm not going to be aggressive. If you are that hell-bent on, let's say, stealing a client or whatever, listen, that person wants to go, they're going to go. I'm going to do my job to the best I can. And if you want to stay with me, stay with me. But I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to be that person. I've worked with a few people that were super cutthroat. And to me, it's not just me.
Do you feel like you would have had a different experience of the salon being an environment like this one? This is one of the best.
I don't know. I would have to work in here.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to know what the difference would be like for you, because I've
worked in salons where it was not competitive. It was very frowned upon by trying to steal a client. And then I worked in a salon.
What if it was just like not even a thought? Not just frowned upon, but like
I feel like
non-existent.
That was like one of my first salons I ever worked in.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thought until I started working this other salon, and it was kind of the culture there where you are fighting and they wanted you to fight for.
Why fight? What's like the benefit of that?
You have to ask that person.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have her on the pod, or him, or she, they, because honestly, who knows these days? But I mean, I guess I think
for some people, they're cutthroat, ruthless, and that's what they. I don't have the energy for that. I don't have the mental capacity for that. I would rather be, you know what? If you want it that bad, please take it. I would rather have peace. I don't want to fight.
I don't think anyone really does. I mean, maybe they do. And
a lot of people like the drama. I don't like the drama.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
it's not for me.
It's not even what's interesting about the job. It's not I guess like you can be interested for a while. You can make, the salon drama a tabloid for a second, but if you're not going to come back to that. You're not going to come back to that drama. There's not a lot of substance there.
Yeah.
You're not going to keep a client by filling them in on the salon drama, and it's short-lived. It's a short fuse.
Right. Yeah. But clients also like drama too.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I think it's more interesting to have like somewhere to go. It's more interesting to read a book and like tell them about the book.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because then you're always going to have to find new drama. You're going to have to find
But I don't even think it's so much talking to your clients about it as much as it is your coworkers that are encouraged to fight for more clients. And if they can take it, like, that's fantastic. And you fight and you're a fighter, and that's just not me. But I mean, all salons have a different feel, a different vibe, it just depends on the people, depends on who's running it. Just like you can work somewhere with a manager that's amazing and you have great energy where you work, and then there's a horrible manager and you have terrible energy.
Well, a lot of that was shown by people moving into suites.
Yes.
There were so many successful salons that disintegrated in COVID. Because why? Not because it wasn't a beautiful place to take clients, but because there was a toxic work environment and people didn't want to work in that place anymore.
That, as well as COVID itself, that was a very scary time.
Absolutely.
So I got out of the salon, working in the salon industry, like actual brick and mortar, right before COVID.
Really?
I did. So I escaped it, I feel, just in time. Because that was, so many people I talked to, it was scary.
Have you wanted to leave for a while though?
Like an actual brick and mortar?
Like leave hair?
I love having my creative outlet, but like I said, I don't live to work. I work to live. I have my family. I have other things I like to enjoy. I got into the industry because I wanted the creative outlet, and I thought I can make my own schedule. I can travel everywhere. And that's just not true, because you're kind of a slave to your clients. And when they want something, they want it now. And sometimes people are willing to wait. Sometimes they aren't. Sometimes when you work in a salon where they don't support that, they try and shove you to other, stylists. It's deflating and it's frustrating.
Yeah. I feel like for the most part, let's say that you have a completely run-of-the-mill go in a salon with hair, where you just have it is not like, you don't train your clients. You don't end up either having the luck or the wherewithal to really have that core group to create something that is completely under your control or completely a blend. It can be very much the same as a job that, I'm not going to say 9 to 5 because it just doesn't fall that strictly, but yeah, it's you're tied to going in and out inside of that structure.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is the ability to get a very trained clientele at this point.
Yeah.
I have stylists who have their clients come in at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m.
We have to find.
I'm just waking up.
I mean, I have my chunk of people that know, and work around me. And I have one or two that are a little, you have to work a little more around them. It's fine. But this late in the game, I pretty much have the people that I love. Now I can pick and choose. I pick and choose the people I want because I have a little salon at my house. I do house calls. I do set work. I do traveling. That's basically what I'm doing. And the people that I want to allow in my house are the people that I want the good energy in my house. I don't want somebody I don't like in my house. It's not worth it to me at this point.
Yes.
So I'm at the point where I can pick and choose if I want to do hair. And I just tell you, sorry, I'm not really doing hair anymore. And that's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does beauty mean to you now?
Ugh.
If I had to ask, what does the beauty industry mean to you, and what does actual beauty mean to you?
Well, that's a very vague question. Mean to me in what way?
Well, I think there's an aspect of your career that has become really technical and methodical, but there's also the essence of what beauty actually means, and it's outside of technicality.
Well, I mean, beauty, when I have a person in my chair, the first thing I ask is, what do you want to accomplish? What's going to make you feel good? And that's really what it is. What makes you feel good? Does your skin being clear make you feel good? Your hair done every day feel good? It's just about feeling good and how they want to achieve that.
Is that what beauty means to you?
To me, yeah. Making me feel good. Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It's simple. And quite frankly,
it is.
I actually relate to that because the older I've gotten, I used to go through all the trends, and I wanted to be blonde, I wanted to be red, and then I went through a period, especially when you're dating, I feel like you have a really funny relationship to beauty then, because I looked at it as it was just my teddy bear, and it just made me feel better that my hair was blow dried or whatever.
But it made you feel good.
It did. It made me feel confident.
Yeah.
But
did it make you feel good for you, or because you thought somebody else looked at you and you were better?
Oh, I totally thought I was better.
Yeah.
Because of it, more acceptable. So what's changed is I do it now and it makes me feel good.
Right.
I had to kind of go through
the older you get, the less
superficial
you give.
Well, I didn't give a shit when I was younger. It was just this little block in my 20s.
The 20s are hard.
The 20s were hard.
I would never pay to go back. Never, ever pay to go back in my 20s.
I went through it, especially just with the confidence.
100%.
Couldn't find her.
Where am I going in life?
Yes. And am I doing okay? Am I acceptable?
I would never leave the house without foundation or mascara. Now I'm is my face washed? Yeah.
Oh God. No, it's true.
The older you get, the less you care. Because
Dating?
you're more comfortable. I feel like being in my 40s, I'm the most comfortable I've ever been. And now everything's starting to sag.
You're like, I just got here.
Yes, I just got comfortable, and now everything's failing. I didn't appreciate it before. Yeah.
No, but I don't think you can. I think that's part of
It is
being a certain
100%.
age.
And doing things like for you.
Yeah.
Exercising for you so you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you want to do something. That's even honestly been a huge thing is like, you know, I want to be able to travel. And traveling takes a lot of energy.
Right.
Like exercising to have that level of stamina to like bounce around New York or whatever. It takes energy.
Yeah.
That leads me to like this question I like to ask, which kind of relates to age, which is if you could go back and talk to like a young Alex starting her career,
do you
really
now. Want me to tell you?
I do. I really do. Go into aeronautics.
So if I could go
take
back,
that scholarship.
Well, I've told you. I know, right? Hair is very taxing on your body because you're standing all the time. It's very taxing mentally because you're always talking. You always have to be engaged. You always have to be on. I mean, I would drive home with either classical music or nothing, just because you've got music, you've got talking, you're on your feet all day. If I knew what I knew, I don't know if I would still do it, honestly. Like, I don't say I hate it because I love doing what I do, but also it's very physically and mentally taxing. Yeah.
What's worse, the mental or the physical?
I know I'm mentally strong. I think it's more physical for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Getting home, forcing my husband to rub my feet so much that he bought me a machine to rub my feet, which is not the same. But going back, yeah. I don't know. It's like I said, the 20s were so hard. Trying to find that path was really hard.
What path?
In life, in everything.
Like your purpose?
I don't think I even thought about my purpose in my 20s. I thought about how I was going to survive. What was I going to do for a living? Who I was going to be with, you know? I don't know. I concentrated so much on that in my 20s.
Well, same. Dating. I think that's what dating was like.
I gotta find a husband. I gotta be with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those were my focus. And it's very stressful. And you're 20, you have so many hormones and emotions, and you're still stupid. So,
in a lovely way.
In a lovely way. In a mature way. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if I could go back, what was the original question? If I could go back.
Yeah, Alex now. If you could go back to Alex at the beginning of her career in that first salon as an assistant, what would you tell her?
Run. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Because I'm here and everything I've done and been through has brought me to this point. So just to enjoy it more? I don't know.
How about this? I've never asked this to anyone on the podcast, but if you could imagine yourself, your future self telling you something now, what do you think they'd say?
My future self now. Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like I've just gotten to this point in my life where I'm focusing more on my family and not worrying so much about the future. And I've always done that since I was in my 20s. What am I going to be? Who am I going to be with? Figure that out. You got to figure it out. Stop worrying so much about the future and just be present. And that's what I'm trying to do more now, is be present. Be present with my son, be present with my husband, enjoy now. Stop worrying about later.
I think that's great advice. I would take that advice any day.
Once you wipe that off, you relieve so much stress. I think our culture, of course you have to plan for your future. You don't want to live on the streets later in life, but
no,
Like, stop worrying so much. Like, stuff will work out.
Yeah.
I always figure it out. It'll happen.
Yeah.
I worry too much. So stop worrying. That's what I tell myself. Stop worrying. I'm trying to be more present. It's important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing because every moment is precious. It can be a moment to connect with someone, to create something, and a lot of times we get distracted by drama.
Like, I have too much going on. I have to work. I have to get this done. And you don't have to. It's important to take time for yourself and be selfish, which maybe I tell myself that too. Take more time. I'm always a busybody. I'm always go, trying to fit max. Oh, I have the weekend open. What can I pack in the weekend? Relax.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because like things like my dad had a stroke. I mean, I never thought that would happen. And things have completely changed. And he's not the dad I had before.
Yeah.
So seeing him more, being present. You never know.
You don't. And that's why I love having these conversations because, like, everything I do is technically about your outside. Mm-hmm. But what really, really matters...
You're making somebody feel good.
That's true. But what really, really matters is that inside piece, you know? And I never want to lose sight of that.
Yeah.
I can get so caught up in how things look on the outside, how the material side looks, and tweaking and perfecting and and I get really excited about that. But always remembering that inside piece and bringing back the presence and bringing back, you know, the not hyperfixating, the not worrying.
Not worrying. Yeah. Like I said, connecting with your clients and being friends. I had a client that actually call me to call her back about a date she went on. Because she, you know, got a divorce a couple years ago and she's terrified. And she called me, you know, because we always talk about it and we bounce, you know, thoughts and feelings and whatnot off each other. And she called me to tell me just because, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a good part of it. That's a fun part about the job too. That's like the best part. Yeah.
I love getting to hear life moments of people's lives. And that's really what it's about, is presenting yourself for that moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for not spilling any secrets tonight. Thanks for calling on the pod.
Of course.
It's been an absolute pleasure having Alex on the podcast. She has meant a lot to me and is someone that I've thought of many times as I've gone through my own lessons in my career. And I hope you all enjoyed this conversation and you got a little bit to take home with you about substance, not just beauty. So follow us for more at the Beauty Ritual Podcast, at Beauty Ritual on Instagram, TikTok, and, you know, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere else you want to find us. And we'll see you next time.
A beauty entertainment broadcast.